It may not look like home, but at this point I don't care. Oh, they were missing Mother England. They swore their loyalty until the very end. Anything you say, King, it's okay, King. You know it's kind of scary on your own. Gonna build a new land the way we planned. Could you help us run it till it's grown? They planted corn, you know, they built their houses one by one. And bit by bit they worked until the colonies were done. They looked around, yeah, up and down, and someone said, hooray! If the king could only see us now, he would be proud of us today. They knew that now they'd run their own land. But George III still vowed he'd rule them to the end. Anything I say, do it my way now. Anything I say, do it my way. Don't you get to feeling independent, cause I'm gonna force you to obey. He taxed their property, he didn't give them any choice. And back in England, he didn't give them any voice. That's called taxation without representation, and it's not fair. But when the colonies named, the king said, I don't care. He even has the nerve to tax our cup of tea. To put it kindly, King, we really don't agree. Gonna show you how we feel. We're gonna dump this tea and turn this harbor into the biggest cup of tea in history. They wanted no more Mother England. They knew the time had.
All right.
That was great.
So based on that video, what do y'all think we're talking about
The
today?
Boston Tea Party.
Good
I
job.
think that we are talking about videos that poorly skew the history of the American Revolution.
That's
and
true.
Completely oversimplified.
You know,
They do,
the,
but I
the
think
tea
it'd
probably
be
didn't
fun
taste very
to
good because it
watch.
was salty.
I think it'd be fun to watch.
When I was in Boston, they had this little glass vial, and it was sealed with a little wax thing, and it was in a museum, and they said, tea from the Boston Tea Party. Somebody scooped it up with water. That's me.
That's good stuff.
Shut the fuck
All
up.
right. So, do y'all remember
Shut
much
it,
from the
shut.
lesson last time?
Yes, parts.
Parts of it. So, like, what led into the cause of the Boston Tea Party?
The intolerable acts.
Okay, yeah. Y'all remember the 7 Years' Wars?
The French and Indian War?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Okay. That causing the colonists causing a debt for Britain for helping them in their wars. Y'all remember the Sugar Act?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. What was that about?
Taxing sugar.
Tax on sugar, tax on molasses. Good job. All right. Y'all remember the Stamp Act?
Tax
Yes.
on any writing materials, essentially.
Right. And then it was repealed within a year after it had been implemented. And then y'all remember the Declaratory Act?
I do not remember.
Could you run that one back?
That one, okay, that one was passed in 1766, and it was an assertion of British authority over the colonists. It basically was from the crown saying,
They declared their absolute authority.
yeah, good job. All right, so 1 year after that act was passed, the Townshend Act was passed, and it was a replacement of the Stamp Act. All right, so what do y'all think the money from this was used for?
The Townsend Act?
Slave trade.
No. Slavery was on the way out in 1770s for England. I mean, they were done with slavery by like 1812 in England. I don't know.
Okay.
Like funding redcoats.
Funding imperialism.
Yeah, money was used to support the British military, and it was a tax on products such as like tea, glass, lumber, paint, paper, construction materials. Yeah, and of course, as you can imagine, the colonists were not very happy about this, having to pay more taxes, and it actually caused the sense of unity within the different colonies, because up until all these acts started being passed, they kind of felt like separate from each other, and their anger towards all these acts started causing a sense of unity as like a whole. But they wrote letters to Britain in protest in these acts. And then the next year, by 1768, Boston was under military control. The other colonies, as a result of that, wouldn't allow British ships to come into their harbors, and British imports decreased by 40% within a year of 1768. There were lots of boycotts of British products. And then by March 5th, 1770, the Boston Massacre happened. Shots broke out and 5 people were killed. Parliament put the soldiers on trial. And what do y'all think happened as a result of that trial?
Found them not guilty.
They found them not guilty, that's right. So, of course, the colonists were enraged, and Boston continued to be under military supervision. And then, after that happened, Britain repealed the Townshend Act, and then they passed the Tea Act of 1773, which was a tax on tea, and the colonists were only allowed to buy East India tea, and they did not like that. They claimed the tea was very low quality and expensive, and they would have rather bought other teas. Yeah, not happy. And that was a big argument of the no taxation without representation, saying like, you're violating our rights as Englishmen to force us, we can only buy this one tea, along with the fact that people in England could buy whatever tea they wanted. So, but yeah. So then they had, of course, the Boston Tea Party, where the colonists dressed up as Native Americans and dumped 10,000 pounds, as in like money pounds, into the harbor as a protest for this Tea Act. Why do y'all think they dressed as Native Americans?
Because they looked at them as savages.
Satire?
It's to represent how they felt England looked at them as savages, as if they were no better than the Indians.
That's right. That's completely right. Good job.
I also
I like
think that
your
racism
answer.
is a big part of it.
I think racism too.
Inherent
but-
racism in the system, but
Yeah.
I think that's.
So after this, it's
Jake
1774. Independence has become very much an open idea. You can read about it in newspapers, and it's becoming a big word throughout the colonists of like, is this something we want to do? I don't know. What do y'all think? But yeah. So in closure, I just make sure y'all understood everything. So what did the Townshend Act replace, and what did that money go toward?
Stamp Act.
And it went to the redcoats, the lobster backs.
Yeah.
That's what they were called.
I
All
know.
right. Good job.
This is slang word.
I know that. I know.
All right, so after the Boston Massacre, Parliament found the soldiers not guilty. And so what did that cause? What kind of reaction did that cause from the colonists?
Unfavorable.
Rioting.
Rioting, anger. Why did the colonists dislike the Tea Act?
Because they didn't like the tea that they were given. And they didn't like more taxes either.
Right, they didn't like the tea, they didn't like the taxes, and they didn't like being treated as if they were so different from Englishmen, since they were supposed to be British citizens still. All right. And the Boston Tea Party was a protest of what?
The Townshend Act.
The Tea Act.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
What's your major?
All right, so good job.
Thank you.